Good evening, folks. This is Deb Delapiano, and this is your short take. So we're closing out the month by going here, okay? I have been not dealing with this. I have been observing. I have been reading. I have been getting updates on this from various people when I can't watch myself and when I can't review, some of the material that comes out on a daily basis. We're gonna close out this month by talking about this whole Fani Willis debacle. And no, I'm not going to say Fani Willis did not use proper judgment. What I'm going to say is this has fucking absolutely no business being in court, and this has absolutely nothing to do with the crimes that Donald Trump committed or whether this case should be prosecuted, okay? This is a ploy, once again, by the Orange Jackaloon. And we're talking about the state of Georgia here. I'm sorry. It's the Babel Belt, okay? You could offer me $10 million and there's no way I'm taking it because I would never live below the Mason-Dixon line. And I apologize to anybody I may be offending, but I'm sorry, it's not for me. I know there are states that aren't quite as bad. Maryland, I get that. I get it. I really do. But for me, anything below the Mason-Dixon line is an absolute no-go, all right? And this only bolsters my feeling that it's basically trailer park thinking in my mind, okay? So let's talk about this. We're talking about two consenting adults. These people are not like 22 either. They're like, middle age, around that, right? We're talking about two consenting adults who get into a romantic relationship. And what that fucking has to do with Donald Trump being prosecuted is beyond me, other than what? He's sitting in the chair prosecuting the case. That's his job. By the way, let me just talk to you about Nathan Wade, her paramour. That was her third choice for that job. Third. She approached two other prosecutors first who turned her down. Why? Because they were afraid that Donald Trump would hurt them or their families or both. So let's go here. We can't get this guy into court on one of his criminal charges, but we got the prosecuting attorney into court on a witch hunt. This is what a witch hunt looks like. In case Donald Trump and his followers are wondering, this is what a witch hunt looks like. We got her into court on a witch hunt. We're questioning her ex-paramour's divorce attorneys, her father, ex-governors, former senators. About what? We questioned his divorce attorney the other day. What are we looking for here? A possible way to get the case thrown out? Is that what it is? Because that's exactly what it is. Because the man who brought this whole thing up was a dirty trickster. And the guy who was making the allegations is one of Donald Trump's co-defendants, a fucking criminal. One of the people, we got Fani Willis in there. We have Fani Willis in the courtroom defending her character and defending herself. But the man that she's prosecuting is a man who tried to overturn the 2020 election, a man who called the Secretary of State in that state and asked him to find 11,400 some odd votes because that's what he needed to beat Biden. We can't get him into the fucking courtroom. And yet we are torturing Fani Willis, and she is rightfully so quite animated and pissed off. Now, whether the judges or the people in the court like that or not, too damn bad. It's time for people to stop cowering at all of this stuff. This isn't right. This is none of their business. That's none of your business. It's nobody's business. It's damaging a person's reputation for what? For having a consenting adult relationship with another human being? How many have you had with other human beings? How many have I had? It's none of your goddamn business. I am positive if Fani Willis was a man, particularly in Georgia, a white man. This would never have seen the light of day. None of this would ever have seen the light of day. You know, maybe Donald Trump's scurrilous little co-conspirator would have brought this up. But maybe if it were a white man, the judge would have said, this isn't going anywhere, because that's exactly what should have happened. This could have been done privately and quietly if they felt the need to do it. And it didn't have to be done in this way. We are not alleging that Fani Willis and her former boyfriend made up all of this evidence against Donald Trump. So why this has an impact on his trial is beyond me. Oh, we're going to drop all the charges because the prosecuting attorney had an affair with the other prosecuting attorney. Really? Does that make sense to you? It doesn't make sense to me. I mean, come on, people. We have Clarence Thomas, whose wife, we have miles and miles of evidence, conspired to overturn the election. Conspired during the day of the insurrection. We have mountains of evidence that she should be prosecuted and that he should have to recuse himself on all of Donald Trump's cases that go before the Supreme Court. But none of that is happening. Instead, we're putting Fani Willis on the hot seat in Georgia and making a fucking fool out of her because she had an affair. That's not a crime, by the way. All of the other shit we mentioned, that's a crime. Those are all crimes. Trying to overthrow an election is a crime. This is the United States of America. It's not Russia yet. This isn't Jair Bolsonaro's Brazil. It's not Kim Jong-un's nation where this happens routinely. This is an affront to American democracy, what's going on here. And you know what? If the American people aren't concerned about this by now, I'm kind of getting sick of talking to them all. I'm at my breaking point now with listening to all their little concerns that will not amount to a fucking hill of beans once you're under Donald Trump's rule, because it will be nothing but 4 years of getting back at everybody that ever did him wrong. In his mind, did him wrong, which in our minds is actually holding him accountable for crimes. He says he's being persecuted. I say he's being prosecuted. There's a difference. Persecuted is being tortured, which is what Fani Willis is being, which is what's being done to Fani Willis right now. Prosecuted is being held accountable for your crimes. And believe me, whether it's Georgia, whether it's New York, whether it's DC, no matter where the trial is on Donald Trump, he has been indicted by juries of his peers who have heard the evidence. There is evidence. Okay? There's evidence. Oh, I forgot Florida. I forgot the documents case. Right. We have a man who's facing 91 criminal counts and we can't get him into fucking court. But we got Fani Willis in there, a woman who was doing her job. And yes, there's evidence that she had an affair with him. Yep, absolutely. Guess what? That's not a crime. I'll talk to you all later. By the way, I forgot one thing. I've seen a lot of commentary. You know, it's almost like, you know, talking heads in the media have to throw this in. She may have made an error in judgment. Really? So when they're in the middle of an affair, who thinks to themselves, maybe I shouldn't get involved with this person because I'm prosecuting Donald Trump? I'm also pretty sure that no one would be saying that. No member of the media, no talking head would say that if Fani Willis weren't a black female, if she were just a lily white guy doing his job. Pretty sure. Have a nice night.